Have you ever felt that the world is moving just a bit too fast, leaving you feeling overlooked or perhaps even a bit invisible in your own home? It is a heavy and honest burden to feel that our happiness is at the mercy of a single phone call or a difficult conversation. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself that a person can find a retreat nowhere more quiet or more untroubled than within his own soul. For example, think of a person who remains steady and kind, even when their family seems to ignore their wisdom. This video will explore 3 timeless principles and a simple 7-day plan to keep you grounded in what truly matters. I invite you to listen to the very end to find a routine that fits your life today. If this speaks to your heart, please type in the comments the phrase, "I choose my response." I choose my response. The first pillar of our sanctuary is called the compass of control. This principle is built on a foundation laid by the philosopher Epictetus. He taught that the very beginning of wisdom is to understand a simple but profound truth. Every single thing in this world falls into one of 2 categories. The first category includes things that are up to us. These are our own thoughts, or intentions, our desires, and our personal actions. The second category includes things that are not up to us. These are the weather, the economy, the physical aging of our bodies, and most importantly, the opinions and behaviors of other people. Epictetus believed that our unhappiness comes from a single mistake. We spend our energy trying to control things in the second category, while neglecting the power we have in the first. Think of this like a compass. If you try to sail north, but your compass is broken and pointing east, you will never reach your destination. By aligning your compass with what you actually control, you find a sense of steady direction that no storm can take away. In our modern world, applying this principle feels harder than ever. We are living in a time of constant information and noise. Through our phones and televisions, we are invited to feel responsible for every crisis and every conflict across the globe. We often feel a deep pressure to fix the lives of our adult children or to change the minds of neighbors who disagree with us. For those of us in the second half of life, we may also feel a quiet frustration with our own bodies. We might feel betrayed by a knee that aches or a memory that is not as sharp as it once was. We have spent our lives being the fixers, the providers, and the caretakers. Because of this, it is very natural to feel that we should be able to control how our loved ones feel and how the world perceives us. When we cannot change these things, we feel a sense of failure. We feel like we have lost our grip on life. But the truth is, we never had control over those external things to begin with. We only had the illusion of it. To see how this looks in a real-life situation, let us look at a fictional illustration. Imagine a woman named Martha who is 68 years old. Martha has spent 3 weeks planning a beautiful Sunday dinner for her adult children and their families. Bar cleaned every corner of her home and prepared a traditional meal that she knew they loved. Bar hoped this would be a night of deep connection and warm conversation. However, the day did not go as Bar planned. Her children arrived, nearly an hour late. During the meal, they spent most of their time looking at their phones or talking about work projects that Martha did not understand. When the dinner was over, they rushed out the door to get home for a television show. Martha was left alone in a quiet house with a mountain of dirty dishes. Bar felt a deep sense of resentment and sadness. Bar felt invisible. Bar told herself that her children were ungrateful and that her efforts were wasted. If we analyze Martha's situation through the eyes of a Stoic, we can see where her pain truly comes from. Martha's pain was not caused by her children's behavior. It was caused by her expectation that she could control her children's behavior. Bar was trying to govern their gratitude and their attention, which are things in the second category. Bar forgot that her only true power was in the first category, her own intentions. Marcus Aurelius understood this struggle deeply, even as an emperor. He could not control the betrayals or the laziness of those around him. He wrote in his personal journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Martha's strength would have come from realizing that she succeeded the moment Bar chose to be a loving mother. The act of cooking the meal was her victory. How her children responded was outside her jurisdiction. When we realize that other people's reactions are not our responsibility, we can finally breathe. We can be kind without needing a thank you. We can be generous without needing a reward. You can apply this principle when you are dealing with family conflict or when you feel that overthinking is starting to cloud your mind. If a family member treats you with disrespect, ask yourself, is their character up to me? The answer is no. But is my response up to me? The answer is yes. You can choose to be the person who remains dignified even when others are not. This is not about being weak. It is about being so strong that you do not need others to validate your worth. To begin practicing this today, I invite you to try a simple 5-minute exercise tomorrow morning. This is the 2-column journal. Step number 1. Find a quiet place and take a piece of paper. Step number 2. Draw a line down the center of that paper to create 2 columns. Step number 3. In the left column, list 3 things that are causing you worry or stress today. It might be a health concern, a difficult relative, or a global event. Step number 4. In the right column, for each worry, write down exactly what part of that situation is truly up to you. For a health concern, you cannot control the diagnosis, but you can control your diet and your attitude toward the doctor. For a difficult relative, you cannot control their words, but you can control your silence or your calm reply. Step number 5. Take a deep breath and mentally hand over the left column to the universe or to your faith. Keep the right column as your only to-do list for the day. By doing this, you narrow your focus. You stop trying to carry the weight of the whole world and instead carry only what belongs to you. This practice creates a sanctuary that no one can disturb. Remember, your peace is not found in a perfect world. It is found in your perfect response to an imperfect world. If this lesson has brought you a sense of calm, please type this affirmation in the comments to anchor it in your heart. I hold my peace. I let go of the rest. I hold my peace. I let go of the rest. The second pillar in our inner sanctuary is the anchor of the present. The Stoic philosophers called this practice prosece. It is a state of continuous attention or spiritual watchfulness. Imagine your mind is like a captain on a ship. Prosece is the act of keeping your eyes on the horizon and your hands firmly on the wheel at this very moment. It is not about clearing your mind of all thoughts like a monk in a cave. Instead, it is about being fully aware of your current moral choice. Every second, you have a choice to be kind, to be steady, or to be patient. If your mind is somewhere else, you lose that choice. You become like a ghost in your own life, walking through the rooms of your house while your heart is trapped in a memory from decades ago. This pillar is about coming home to yourself. It is about realizing that your soul can only live in the present. This is incredibly difficult in our modern world. As we reach the middle and later chapters of our lives, we have a very long history behind us. It is natural for the mind to drift back to old regrets. We might think about a career path we did not take, a marriage that ended, or words we wish we could take back. At the same time, the future can feel uncertain. We may worry about our health, our financial security, or the state of the world we are leaving for our grandchildren. We become experts at mental time travel. We spend our mornings grieving the past and our evenings fearing the future. When we do this, we are essentially living in two different worlds that do not exist, while the real world, right in front of us, remains unlived. We sit at the table with our spouses or friends, but we are not really there. We miss the taste of Chung Toi coffee and the warmth of the sun on our skin because our minds are busy fighting battles that are either already over or have not yet begun. To understand this better, let us look at the story of Robert. Robert is 68 years old and has worked hard his entire life. He should be enjoying his retirement. But most nights, he finds himself staring at the ceiling at 3 o'clock in the morning. His mind is like a broken record. He replays a business decision he made 20 years ago that cost him a significant amount of money. He imagines all the things he could have done with that wealth if he had just been smarter. Then, his mind jumps forward. He has a routine surgery scheduled for next month. He begins to imagine every possible complication. He thinks about the recovery time and the pain. By the time the sun rises, Robert is exhausted. He has lived through a financial disaster from the past and a medical crisis from the future, all while lying safely in his warm bed. He has suffered through two tragedies that are not actually happening. Robert is a victim of his own imagination. He is fighting ghosts. The Stoic philosopher Seneca understood this struggle perfectly. He was a man who lived through great political turmoil and personal danger. He observed that most of our pain does not come from facts, but from the stories we tell ourselves about the past and the future. Seneca taught a very famous lesson when he wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This means that the actual physical pain or the actual event is often much smaller than the mountain of worry we build around it. Robert's business loss happened once, 20 years ago, but by replaying it every night, he makes himself lose that money 1,000 times over. His surgery has not happened yet, but his mind is already feeling the phantom pain of gnaw. The Stoics would tell Robert that the past is dead and gone. It is as far away as the stars. The future is not yet born. The only place where Robert has any power, any dignity, any peace is right here in this breath. This principle is especially helpful when you find yourself caught in a cycle of overthinking or when you are facing a difficult health journey. Whatever your faith may be, you likely believe that today is a gift. Overthinking is simply the act of refusing that gift because we are too busy looking at yesterday's trash or tomorrow's shadows. When you feel that tightness in your chest or that racing mind, you need a physical way to pull yourself back to the earth. I want to share a very practical Bai-Thirk-Han called the 5-sense anchor. This is a tool you can use anytime, anywhere, to stop mental time travel in its tracks. It only takes half a minute. Step number 1. Stop whatever you are doing and take one slow, deep breath. Feel the air enter your lungs and feel your chest expand. Step number high. Look around you and name 5 things you can see right now. Perhaps noise a picture on the wall, a tree outside the window, or the color of your own hands. Look at the details of these things. Step number 3. Notice bone things you can physically touch. Feel the texture of your clothing, the coolness of the chair, or the solid ground beneath your feet. Step number bone. Close your eyes for a moment and listen for distinct sounds. No might be the hum of the refrigerator, a bird singing, or the sound of your own breathing. Step number num. Identify 2 things you can smell, even if no is just the scent of the air in the room or the lingering smell of your morning tea. Step number so. Focus on 1 thing you can taste. Notice the lingering flavor in your mouth. When you finish this, you will notice that your heart rate has slowed down. You are no longer in that business meeting from 20 years ago. You will no longer be in the hospital room next month. You are here. You are safe. You are present. You are in your sanctuary. By practicing this anchor every day, you reclaim your life. You stop being a visitor in your own existence. You begin to see the beauty in the small things that you used to overlook. The way the light hits the floor in the afternoon, the sound of a friend's voice, the simple dignity of being alive. This moment is the only place where you can be happy. If you are ready to stop the mental time travel and stay grounded in the now, please type this affirmation in the comments. This moment is my only home. This moment is my only home. The 3rd pillar of our inner sanctuary is the dignity of duty. The ancient Stoics used a beautiful word for our connection to the rest of humanity. They called it oikeiosis. This principle suggests that we are not isolated islands. Instead, we are part of a series of widening circles. The first circle is our own mind. The second is our family. The third is our community. And the final circle encompasses all of humanity. The Stoics believed that our nature is to be social and to be useful to one another, to them. A human being who refuses to help others is like a hand that refuses to help the body. Duty, in the Stoic sense, is not a boring obligation or a heavy chain. It is the highest expression of our character. It is the way we take our place in the natural order of things. When we perform our duty with a calm and willing heart, we find a sense of purpose that no external reward can match. We do what is right because it is right, not because we want a prize. This creates a great, quiet pride that nobody can take away from us. However, carrying out this duty is often very difficult in our modern world. Many of us in the second half of life find ourselves in a season of intense caregiving. We might be looking after aging parents while simultaneously helping to raise grandchildren. This is often called the sandwich generation, and it can feel like being squeezed from both sides. Unlike the heroic duties we see in movies, real-world duty is often repetitive, messy, and silent. It is the act of changing bandages, preparing meals that might not be eaten, or answering the same question for the 10th time in an hour. In our culture of self-care and personal achievement, this kind of selfless service can feel like a loss of freedom. We might look at our peers who are traveling or relaxing and feel a stinging sense of envy. We might feel that our own lives have been put on hold to serve others who may not even recognize our sacrifice. This leads to a deep, heavy exhaustion that goes far beyond the physical. It is a weariness of the soul that comes from feeling unseen and unappreciated. To understand how Stoicism helps us carry this weight, let us look at the situation of David. David is 66 years old and has been retired for 3 years. He imagined his retirement would be spent on the golf course or in his woodshop. Instead, his spouse's health began to decline rapidly. Now, David's days are measured by medication schedules and doctor's appointments. He is often lonely, even when he is in the same room as his wife. Because her illness has changed her personality, David feels a dark cloud of resentment growing inside him. He finds himself getting angry at small things. He wonders, who is taking care of me? He feels like a prisoner to his circumstances. He loves his wife, but he feels like the person he was is slowly disappearing under the weight of his chores. When we look at David's life through the lens of Stoicism, we see a man who is carrying his burden by the wrong handle. The philosopher Epictetus, who lived through great physical suffering himself, understood this perfectly. He offered a powerful metaphor that we can all use today. Epictetus wrote, "Everything has two handles, one by which it can be carried and one by which it cannot. If your brother acts unjustly, do not lay hold of the act by that handle wherein he acts unjustly, for that is the handle which cannot be carried, but lay hold of it by the other handle, that he is your brother, and then you will lay hold of it by that which may be carried." For David, the handle that cannot be carried is the handle of resentment. If he focuses on the unfairness of his situation or his lost hobbies, the weight will eventually break him. But if he chooses the other handle, the handle of love and duty, the burden changes. He can choose to see his caregiving not as a chore, but as an act of profound excellence. He can realize that by being a steady, kind presence for his wife, he is fulfilling his highest purpose as a human being. He is proving his character in the fires of reality. This principle is vital to apply when you are feeling betrayed by life, or when you are caring for someone who cannot thank you. Whatever your faith, you likely recognize the value of service. Stoicism simply reminds us that the value lies in the doing, not in the result. When you choose the handle of duty, you reclaim your dignity. You are no longer a victim of a sad situation. You are a person performing a noble task. To begin reclaiming your power in your daily life, I invite you to practice the one small kindness rule. This is a very specific exercise designed to shift your focus from your burden to your character. Step number 1. Once every day, identify one small act of service that is not part of your normal routine. It could be sending a thoughtful text to a friend who is also struggling. It could be making a cup of tea for your spouse with extra care. It could even be a quiet prayer for a neighbor. Step number high. Perform this act with your full attention. Do it as if you are a master craftsman finishing a piece of art. Step number 3. This is the most important part. You must perform this act with the secret intention of receiving absolutely no thanks, no recognition, and no credit. If the person thanks you, that is fine, but in your mind, your reward was the act itself. Step number bone. Spend 60 seconds afterwards in silence, recognizing that you just performed a duty for the human family. Feel the quiet strength that comes from knowing you are a person of service. By doing this once a day, you train your mind to look for the right handle. You begin to see that you have a choice. You can be a tired person doing a job, or you can be a dignified person fulfilling a sacred role. This practice helps you stay connected to others without losing yourself. It reminds you that even when the world feels small, your character can still be great. You are not just a caregiver. You are a practitioner of wisdom, You are part of the widening circles of the human family. You are never truly alone when you are in service to others. If you are ready to carry your life with dignity and love, please type this affirmation in the comments to signal your commitment. I serve with love. I walk with dignity. I serve with love. I walk with dignity. To live with wisdom is to know how to apply these ancient truths when life feels cold and unfair. There are specific moments in our later years when we feel a sharp sting in our hearts. This often happens when we feel betrayed by a long-time friend, ignored by our own children, or swallowed by a deep sense of loneliness. The Stoic principle for these moments is the development of the inner citadel. This is the understanding that your character is the only thing that belongs to you. Other people may choose to be unkind. They may choose to forget your birthday or exclude you from their plans. But those choices belong to them. They are like a storm passing by outside your window. You do not have to open the door and let the rain soak your carpet. You have the power to observe their behavior without letting it become part of your identity. You can be a person of peace even when the people around you are in a state of chaos. This is very difficult to do in our modern life. We live in an age of constant comparison. Through social media or neighborhood gossip, we are always seeing what others are doing. For many of us, this is the first time in our lives we have felt invisible. We might see photos of a family gathering we were not invited to. We might notice that our phone has not rung in days. In the past, we were the ones everyone depended on. Now, as our rôle change, we may feel that the world has moved on without. This creates a deep sense of being ignored or discarded. We often think that if we were better or younger, people would treat us differently. We begin to look for our worth in the attention of others. When that attention is gone, we feel like we are nothing. We feel a desperate need to be seen. And when we are not, we feel a quiet, burning resentment. Let us look at a fictional illustration to see how this pain works. Imagine a woman named Sarah, who is 70 years old. Sarah has a group of 3 friends she has known for 30 years. One day, Bar sees a picture online of these 3 friends having lunch at a new restaurant. Sarah was not invited. Bar feels a cold knot in her stomach. Bar begins to replay every conversation Bar has had with them, looking for a mistake Bar might have made. Bar feels betrayed. Bar tells herself that her friends no longer value her. Bar spends the entire afternoon sitting in a dark room, feeling small and unloved. Sarah is letting her friend's lunch determine her value as a human being. Bar has handed her peace of mind to people who were simply being thoughtless. If we analyze Sarah's situation, we can see that Bar is catching someone else's reign. The Stoics would tell Sarah that Bar cannot control the guest list of a lunch, but Bar can control the story Bar tells herself about it. Marcus Aurelius faced this every single day as the leader of the Roman Empire. He dealt with people who were dishonest, rude, and ungrateful. He wrote a very famous passage to help himself stay steady. Marcus wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own. This means that when someone ignores you or betrays you, no is not a reflection of your worth. No is a reflection of their own confused state of mind. They are having an internal storm. You do not have to join them in it. You can simply say, that is their choice. But my choice is to remain at peace. Apply this when you feel a family member has been cold to you or when a friend has let you down. Ask yourself, is their rudeness my responsibility? The answer is always no. Their behavior is their own burden to carry. You can choose to be the person who remains kind and steady, regardless of how you are treated. This is the ultimate form of freedom. No is the realization that no one can make you feel inferior without your own consent. Now, let us talk about the feeling of loneliness. Many in our community share that they feel a heavy silence in their homes. But the Stoics would invite you to see this differently. They would ask you to turn your loneliness into solitude. Loneliness is the feeling that something is missing. Solitude is the feeling that you are finally in the company of a very good friend yourself. Whatever your faith may be, this quiet time is a sacred space, nor is a time to connect with the eternal and to reflect on your own character. You are never truly alone when you have a well-ordered mind. To practice this shift from being a victim to being a master of your own peace, I want you to try a by-Thurkheim called the Character Legacy Audit. This takes only 5 minutes and can be done right now. Step number 1. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Take 3 slow breaths. Step number high. Think of a person who has recently ignored you or hurt your feelings. Step number 3. Mentally visualize their hurtful action or their silence as a grey cloud floating in front of you. Step number bone. Say to yourself, this cloud belongs to them. No, does not define who I am. Step number num. Now, think of one quality you admire in yourself. Perhaps no is your patience, your long history of hard work, or your ability to forgive. Step number sau. Visualize that quality as a bright light inside your chest. See that light growing stronger than the grey cloud. Step number by. Spend 60 seconds simply sitting in that light. Recognize that your worth is built on this light, not on the opinions of people who are lost in their own clouds. By doing this, you reclaim your sanctuary. You stop waiting for the phone to ring to feel valuable. You start to find joy in your own company. You begin to see that being alone is an opportunity to practice the greatest of all virtues, being at peace with yourself. You are the architect of your own happiness. You are the keeper of your own light. Do not let anyone else blow nor out. You are worthy of respect simply because you exist and because you strive to be a person of character. If you are ready to stop catching the rain of others and find peace in your own light, please type this affirmation in the comments. I am my own best company. I am my own best company. To truly change the way we live, we must understand that philosophy is not a collection of beautiful quotes to be read and then forgotten. The ancient Stoics believed in a principle called ascesis. This word does not mean punishment. Instead, it means training or exercise. They viewed the mind as a muscle that must be strengthened every single day. Just as a gardener must tend to their plants daily to see them bloom, a person must tend to their soul to see it become resilient. The principle here is that wisdom is a habit, not a destination. You do not simply become a Stoic. You practice being Stoic in the way you handle broken glass, a late bill, or a difficult conversation. This blueprint is designed to take these high ideals and bring them down into the real world. It is about building a foundation of character that remains steady even when the ground beneath you begins to shake. In our modern lives, We often struggle with what is known as information overload. We listen to podcasts, we watch videos, and we read books about self-improvement. But because our lives are so busy and filled with distractions, we rarely find the time to actually apply what we learn. We find it difficult to stick to a plan because we are constantly being pulled in different directions by our phones, our families, and our worries. For those of us in the second half of life, we may also feel that it is too late to change our habits. We might think that our patterns of overthinking or resentment are permanent parts of who we are. We feel a deep exhaustion that makes even a small mental effort feel like a mountain. We want peace, but we do not know how to build the structure required to sustain it. To illustrate this challenge, let us look at the situation of a man named James. James is 65 years old and has spent the last year reading every book on philosophy he can find. He can quote the emperors and the scholars perfectly. However, when James is stuck in traffic, or when his neighbor's dog barks too loudly, he still feels the same old flash of anger. He still feels the same tightness in his chest when he thinks about his retirement savings. James has all the knowledge in his head, but none of it has reached his heart. He is like a person who has memorized a map of a city, but has never actually stepped foot on its streets. He knows where he should go, but he does not have the strength in his legs to get there. The Stoics would tell James that he is missing the most important part of the journey. Epictetus, the great teacher who was born into slavery, often told his students that they should not just speak about their principles, but show them through their actions. He wrote, "If you wish to be a good writer, write. If you wish to be a good reader, read. If you wish to be an expert in any study, then you must practice it." This means that if James wants to be a person of peace, he must practice being peaceful in small moments before he can handle the large ones. Resiliency is not something you have. It is something you do. It is a choice you make over and over again until it becomes part of your very nature. This 7-day blueprint is your mental gymnasium. It is a way to stop being like James and to start living as a true practitioner of wisdom. You can apply this blueprint starting tomorrow morning. Please consider taking a notebook or a small piece of paper to track your progress. Here is your plan for the next 7 days. Day number 1. The focus on control. Identify one external situation that you have been trying to fix but cannot. This might be a relative's behavior or a political event. Today, you will consciously stop trying to fix it. Every time your mind drifts to this problem, say to yourself, "This is not mine to carry." Day number 2. The anchor of the present. Practice the 5-sense anchor 3 times today. Do it once in the morning, once after lunch, and once before bed. When a regretful thought appears, use your senses to pull yourself back to the room where you are sitting. Day number 3. Gratitude for ability. Many of us focus on what our bodies can no longer do. Today, you will name 3 things your body can still do. Perhaps it is the ability to see the sunset, to hold a cup of tea, or to walk to the mailbox. Express a quiet thank you for these simple gifts. Day number Sao. The power of silence. Today, commit to speaking only when it is necessary. Listen more than you speak. Before you reply to someone, count to 3 in your head. Notice how much more you observe when you are not busy preparing your next sentence. Day number 5. Voluntary hardship. This is a classic Stoic exercise. Choose one small luxury to go without today. Perhaps you will drink your coffee without sugar, or you will turn off the television for 2 hours. This is not to suffer, but to prove to yourself that you are stronger than your comforts. You are reminding yourself that your happiness does not depend on these small things. Day number Sao. Instant forgiveness. Today, when a family member or a stranger makes a small mistake that bothers you, forgive them immediately and silently. Do not hold on to the irritation for even a minute. Let it go like a bird flying away. Practice the handle of love rather than the handle of resentment. Day number Sao. The legacy of character. Spend 10 minutes tonight reflecting on how you want to be remembered. Not for your money or your house, but for the way people felt when they were near you. Ask yourself, was I a person of kindness today? Was I a person of dignity? This is the only legacy that truly matters. By following this blueprint, you are building your inner sanctuary brick by brick. You are moving from knowledge to wisdom. You are proving that you are a person of action, not just a person of words, whatever your faith. This practice will deepen your character and provide you with a sense of calm that no external event can take away. You are not alone in this training. We are all practicing together, one day at a time. If you are ready to start this 7-day journey of resilience, please type this affirmation in the comments to mark your first day of training. I am a work in progress. I am a work in progress. The final part of our sanctuary is the practice of the Stoic daily routine. This is the structural framework that holds all the other pillars together. The Stoics believed that a good life does not happen by accident. It is designed. They viewed the day as having 2 essential bookends. The morning is for preparation, and the evening is for reflection. This principle is built on the idea that the mind is like a tool that must be sharpened before use and cleaned before being put away. In the morning, you prepare your soul for the challenges of the world so that you are not surprised by rudeness or difficulty. In the evening, you review your actions to learn from your mistakes and to acknowledge your growth. This routine creates a sense of rhythm and order. It allows you to move from being a victim of circumstances to being the intentional architect of your own character. By taking just a few minutes at the start and the end of each day, you create a sacred space that belongs only to you. Applying this routine is very difficult in our modern world because our lives are designed to be reactive. Most of us have been conditioned to wake up and immediately reach for our phones or turn on the television news. Before we have even taken a breath, the noise of the world's problems has already entered our minds. We start our day in a state of high alert, reacting to emails, headlines, and family demands. At the end of the day, we are often so exhausted that we simply collapse into bed. We might watch television or scroll through social media until we fall asleep, never taking the time to process what we experienced. This means that we carry today's stress into tomorrow morning. We are like a person who keeps adding more weight to a backpack without ever stopping to take out the heavy stones. Over time, this makes us feel weary, anxious, and disconnected from our own values. To see how this affects our peace, let us look at the story of Edward. Edward is 67 years old. He usually wakes up and immediately checks his computer to see how his retirement investments are doing. If the market is down, he starts his morning with a knot of anxiety in his stomach. During the day, he is often frustrated by the traffic or by the perceived lack of respect from younger people in his neighborhood. He carries these irritations with him all day long. In the evening, Edward sits in his chair and watches political talk shows until late at night. These shows make him feel angry and worried about the future of his country. When he finally goes to sleep, his mind is racing. He feels like he is on a treadmill that never stops. Edward is a good man, but he has no bookends to his day. He is letting the noise of the world decide how he feels from the moment he opens his eyes until the moment he closes them. Edward's life is a constant reaction to things he cannot control. The Stoic philosophers would tell Edward that he has forgotten to tend to his own garden. Seneca, who was one of the busiest and most successful men in Rome, made a habit of a nightly review to keep his mind clear. He understood that we cannot improve what we do not measure. Seneca wrote a very powerful description of this in his work on anger. He wrote, "When the light has been removed from my sight, and my wife, who knows my habit, has become silent, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by." This was not a way for Seneca to punish himself. It was a way to find peace. By reviewing his day, he could see where he was impatient and promise himself to be better tomorrow. He could then go to sleep with a clear conscience, knowing that he had done his best. This nightly review, combined with a morning preparation, allows us to face life with a sense of mastery rather than a sense of helplessness. You can apply this routine starting tonight. Regardless of your current health or family situation, it is especially helpful if you find yourself overthinking at night or feeling overwhelmed by the news during the day. This is a simple, gentle way to reclaim your power. Here is the two-part practice for your Stoic daily routine. The morning preparation takes only 5 minutes. Step number 1. Sit in silence with your morning coffee or tea. Do not check your phone or the news. Step number Hi. Ask yourself, what challenges am I likely to face today? Perhaps no is a difficult conversation, a physical pain, or a feeling of loneliness. Step number 3. Mentally rehearse your response. Say to yourself, if I face rudeness, I will respond with silence and dignity. If I face pain, I will handle no with patience. This is how you put on your mental armor for the day. The evening review also takes 5 minutes. Step number Bone. Before you lie down to sleep, sit on the edge of your bed. Reflect on the day as if you are a kind and objective observer. Step number Sau. Ask yourself 3 simple questions. First, what did I do well today? Acknowledge even the smallest victory, like being kind to a stranger. Second, where did I fail my principles? Notice where you lost your temper or let worry take over. Do not judge yourself. Just observe. Third, what can I do better tomorrow? Step number Sau. Take a deep breath and decide that the day is now over. Whatever happened is now in the past. It belongs to fate. By practicing these bookends, you stop the cycle of reactive living. You begin to notice the patterns in your behavior. You realize that while you cannot control the world, you can certainly control how you prepare for it and how you learn from it. This routine is your sanctuary. It is the quiet center of your life. Whether you are at home, in hospital, or traveling, these 10 minutes belong to you. They are your way of honoring your own character and your own journey. You are not just getting older, you are getting wiser. You are becoming a person of deep and steady peace. If you are ready to master your day and find peace in your routine, please type this affirmation in the comments to anchor this practice. I am the master of my day. I am the master of my day. As we come to the end of our time together, I want you to remember Martha, Robert, and David. Like so many of us, they faced the silent rooms, the ghosts of old regrets, and the heavy weight of caring for those they love. They felt invisible and tired, but they each found their way back to a sense of peace by building their own inner sanctuary. They learned that while they could not change the speed of the world, they could change the steadiness of their own hearts. The lesson we have shared today is a simple one. Peace is not something you find in a perfect life. It is something you build within yourself, one choice at a time. I encourage you to begin your training tomorrow. Whether you follow the 7-day plan or simply start with the morning and evening routine, the important thing is to begin. Remember the 3 steps for your morning preparation. Step number 1. Find 5 minutes of quiet. Step number 2. Identify your likely challenges. Step number 3. Choose your character-driven response before you go. I would like to invite you to make a small promise to your future self. In the comments below, please type one small commitment you will make today. Perhaps it is, I will start my morning silence, or I will use my 5 senses. Anchor. When you share your commitment, you are not just typing words. You are joining a community of thousands who are walking this path of dignity and strength alongside you. If this message brought you comfort today, please consider liking this video and subscribing to join our community. Share this with a friend or a loved one who might be feeling lonely or overwhelmed. Your simple act of sharing might be the anchor someone else needs today. Please remember that these ideas are shared for reflection and personal growth. They are not a substitute for professional mental health support or medical advice. If you are going through a difficult time or a heavy burden, please reach out to someone you trust or a qualified professional. We respect all faiths and beliefs as we all strive together for a life of virtue and quiet strength. You are not alone on this journey. You are the guardian of your own light, and that light is needed in this world. Stay strong. Stay kind. To anchor your journey, please type this final affirmation in the comments. I am building my sanctuary. I am building my sanctuary.